Okay, hoping this is working. It's taken me about a month to figure it out, so hopefully this is all right. So one of the topics I'm going to talk about is training for goals. I have covered this in the past when we've done our lifestyle challenge, so a few of you may have heard this before, and it has been posted in the groups on previous challenges, but obviously this year we're going to post it now at the start, so you've got it as an option to apply and use throughout this challenge, and also on a day-to-day basis. Training for goals can be applied to so many different areas. It's not only just your training or nutrition. You may find that it's some of the stuff resonates with work, personal life, and just lots of other things. So as we go through it, I'll give examples of where maybe I've used it or how I find it being useful for me. And as with any of the presentations team, if there's anything that you want to speak to me about further, drop me a message or grab hold of me in the gym, and we can go from there. So let me get my second page. Oh, here we go. This is where my amazing technical skills come in. Here we go. All right then, team. So training for goals. So regardless of your fitness level, competitive stance, age, lifestyle, goals should always follow a SMART principle. Okay, so I'll talk about that in a little bit to go through. But as I said, they can be applied to everything. It may be the first time that you thought about them coming into this lifestyle challenge, but hopefully going forward, it's something that you will think about more often, and put them into play for many aspects of your life. Following these 5 principles of these SMART principles, hopefully it allows you to kind of keep motivated, engaged, and on track with whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. They cover important things like making sure that it's short term in order to keep you motivated and keep you on track, but then also thinking long term as to what it is you're actually trying to get to. And by that, we mean if you had a goal in 2 years' time to get to a certain deadlift, for example, rather than have that 2-year goal, which is obviously a long time away, we then break it up, make it into smaller windows so that we keep motivated. They could be monthly, weekly, again, depending on that goal. So we're constantly striving to improve ourselves or to hit targets. And we know that if we're hitting targets, then we're feeling more motivated, we're feeling more encouraged, and it tends to follow that we perform better, or we're more likely to stick to what our goals are. It can be really easy to become demotivated. Sorry, twig, leaf banana. Become really demotivated or disengaged if it's not going our way. But what goals do allow that, whilst we may not hit a weekly goal, that may not have a negative effect on what our long-term goal is. So say my goal is to hit 150 kilogram deadlift, and by the first year I wanted to be on 130 and I'm not, doesn't matter. That 150 could still be attainable, or we can make adjustments to it to help us aim for that, taking into account these smaller short-term goals. Sorry, get off. No, sorry, let me just remove a squeaky banana from my dog. Okay, so goal setting can help with this, and obviously things like weightlifting is an easy example that we can apply it to. So the principles, SMART, they must be specific, they must be measurable, must be achievable, relevant, and time-based. So we will look at these a little bit more specifically and break them down for you to follow them. So let's start with the first one, specific. So pretty much self-explanatory. They must be specific, well-defined, clear, and ambiguous. You can also have more than one for each long-term goal, okay? So I want to get stronger isn't particularly specific. It might be your goal, but what do you actually mean about it, and how do you plan on approaching it? So I want to squat 100 kilograms, I want to deadlift 100 kilograms, whatever it is, have a specific goal. May not be a number, but obviously for example-wise, that does kind of make sense and makes it easy to explain it. The specific goal is for you to improve your overall strength, but how are you going to achieve that? I get stronger, how do you know if you have? And so that's where the numbers come into place, so that we know exactly if we are en route to that. This then makes it measurable. So having a number is measurable, not I want to get stronger. I want to lift a set number, which is more than I can do now. Simple, it is measurable. Strength is easy, you just record the weight that you're going for, but then you can record your progress. You can also keep track of your progress, because again, if you can see improvements, then you're more likely to be motivated and you're more likely to stick to the plan. Keeps you on track, keeps you wanting to see these improvements. It also allows you to see if any issues arise and it starts to break down. So say you're en route and then all of a sudden the numbers drop off and you've had a few niggles, you've had a few injuries. It allows you to look back and think, oh, well, I didn't hit those, but I also know why. That way, we're not likely to just get disencouraged and not wonder, why isn't it happening, and not have an understanding. If we can see a reason, it's a lot easier to deal with, a lot easier to overcome and to move on. A little blip, but it doesn't mean that it's got to have a detrimental effect on the end goal. Okay, so measurable is really important so that we can see where we are. Achievable. So a few things. If we set ourselves a goal, we want to make sure that it is kind of possible. I'm not going to sit here and say, right, I'm going to try and get to 200 kilogram deadlift in 6 months' time. It's just not going to happen. And all that's going to happen is you're going to get disencouraged. You're not going to bother following it. You're going to realize fairly soon that that is not achievable. And then everything else is going to go out the window. Worst case scenario, you set yourself a goal, you hit it easier, sooner, or you fly past it. Winner. That way you're even more motivated because what you are doing has actually improved even greater, which itself leads to more motivation, much better than the opposite. Having said that, you don't want to kind of set yourselves easy goals because you want to have that sense of satisfaction when you hit them. And that can sometimes be a little bit of a skill in itself. Okay, so whilst you want them to be achievable, you don't want it to be something that achieve in 6 months and you achieve next week. That kind of, defeats the object of trying to keep us motivated and on track for longer. Take into account obstacles that you may face. We said earlier that sometimes you may go off track because of illness or injury. You might have a week's holiday away where you know what, you can't hit your numbers because you're not going to be at the gym. Take those into account. That way you're setting yourself up, knowing what's coming. Some stuff is unavoidable, but if we do know there's going to be things in place, take those into consideration so you're not getting frustrated by the process. And then break your goal into smaller achievable goals that lead to the final one. So when we said about having a long-term goal for a year, 2 years, whatever that might be, set yourself smaller goals. 2 years is a long, long time to stay motivated for one measuring outcome. We want to have things along the way in place that can see our progress, make adjustments if we need to, because that is also fine, and to motivate us that we are doing well, we're on the right track, and what we're doing is working. So if I want to squat 80 kilograms in 8 weeks, leading to my 100 kilograms in 6 months, for example, that is a way that it becomes measurable, achievable, and continues to motivate ourselves. And then there's relevant. So make sure that they are relevant to what your dreams and ambitions can be. Everyone will have different goals, different achievements, different ambitions, sorry. And so make it personal. If it means something to you, you are more likely to try and hit it. And your goal may be very different to somebody else's. And that doesn't mean that you can't train alongside them or discuss them with other people, but they are personal, okay? You don't have to share them. Only you need to know what it is that you're after. Some people would rather share them, and then you've got that accountability as well. And some of them might be the same as friends, training partners, and then you're working towards those goals as we go along. If they need to be important to you, and writing them down, as with everything that we say, that if you've got a record of it and you can see it, it's that accountability that, right, there it is, that is what I'm trying to do. On your fridge, have your little goals written down, little post-it notes, whether it's in your training diary, but just little reminders of why you're doing it, what you want to get out of it, and how you are going to do it. I said at the start as well that they can be interchangeable. So if you're flying above what your goals were, then you might want to adjust the end goal or bring it forward so then you can reassess. If things are going wrong, it's not going to plan, and that end goal seems unachievable, rein it in a little bit. Set it further away, put some more goals in the way, or bring the numbers or the final goal down. No one's going to get motivated by continually not hitting them, but still make them challenging, okay? We want that motivation, but it does have to be achievable. The final bit then is that time-based, is when we spoke about how long-term, short-term, and breaking them up. So when you want to achieve this goal, is it something that's very short-term, that by next week, I need to get 3 assessments in, I need to get 5 programs written? It could be, like I said, applying to day-to-day life, that is part of your goal setting. There could be then longer term that I've got a holiday in 6 months. I want to be on track. I want to have my diet sorted. I want to be lifting well. I want to be moving well. Could be I want to train 3 times a week, 5 times a week. There are so many things that we can apply it to, and you can have more than one goal at one time. You can have a few going on in your personal life. You can have a few in training, and they can all have different time scales based on them. As long as you can keep track on them, and chances are a lot of them will make a difference on the other ones. and that you can measure them and see that you are progressing, they will act as the motivation tools. Having said that, don't set yourself a million things to do. These are not meant to be stressful. You shouldn't need to sit down at the start of every day and be like, oh my gosh, which 5 goals have I got to hit this week? Just make them small, manageable stuff that you are already doing, but that you just want to do better or get better at, okay? Make sure you do set start dates and end dates. We say about writing stuff down. So if you are like, right, okay, I'm going to sit down, what do I want to achieve this year? Sometimes it can start of a month. January is obviously a big one, but it could be any time of the year. You may have squatted this week in the gym and hit a PB, which may make you think, okay, actually, what is the next number I want to hit? That might be your first time goal setting. Sit down, write the date that you hit your PB, have a think realistically, applying those SMART goals, what you would like to work towards, write down the date you would like to have that, and then work your way back as to where you want to be and when. If you use a training diary, whether it's handwritten, something on your iPhone, whatever it is, jot it down, yeah? It's easy to lose track of how we're improving or where we are, but if we have it written down, it is there for us to see. And like I said, that doesn't mean it can't be changed, but it does allow us to have it in black and white and know what it is that we're chasing. A couple of other things that I just wanted to mention when it comes to goal setting. I'll often do this on things like workouts. I know I'm speaking a lot about applying it to training, but I appreciate that's kind of quite a common theme that we've got within the group. So kind of goal setting, if I go in and there's a workout, pretty much every workout I go into, I've got some sort of goal setting. So for example, if it's something like 30 wall balls, 20 box jumps, 10 clean and jerk, depending on those weights, I look at it and be like, right, okay, it's 3 rounds. I want to do all my wall balls unbroken. That might be my goal for that workout. What that does, it allows me to shift my focus from, oh my God, it's 3 rounds. There's loads of things in it. How it's going to be, you've got to get this, 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 and this done. My goal is to get your 30 wall balls unbroken and then move well on the other 2 things. That might be different for somebody else. It might be get it done in 3 sets. It might be I'm going to try and use a 6 kilogram for half of them. It might be that I'm going to try and do all the box jumps rather than step up. There are so many things that we can target that will be so different for everyone, but each one of those is actually goal setting, okay? So within a workout, whilst you might have, I want to RX and keep the time cap, what else do you want to achieve in that workout? So break it down. By having those goals within a workout, it gives you a focus and it allows you to strategize and maybe stop you from flying out of the gates at 1,000,000 miles an hour because you've got a bit of a plan. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it doesn't work, and that itself is a learning experience, but having goals within will keep you motivated and on track and targeting your goal within a workout on a daily basis. I touched earlier slightly on like work-related things, like if I know I've got like 5 clients on one day, so I need to have all the programs written up by this day. I do that a lot for goal setting with me, where I've got a to-do list, and that's basically goal setting, to-do list of what I need to do by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Nothing more satisfying than going in, tick, cross off, and getting my goals done. That really is like a very simple form of it, but that means I know I'm on track, it keeps me motivated to stay on top of stuff, and it just allows me to deal with my workload and process things more efficiently and more effectively and allow me to have a better work-life balance. So whilst training is kind of the main one, hopefully you can see that even on a day-to-day basis, applying goal setting really can make a difference to how we work, how we play, how we train, all aspects of life really. So please try and use them, whether your first time is looking at the whiteboard, whether it's on this lifestyle challenge, or whether it's now as we're lifting and we're getting some retests coming up, or you can look back on them. Start trying to set those goals and see whether or not they assist you in kind of giving you a bit of purpose and a bit of target as to where you're going in your training and also on this challenge. If you need anything else, or you've got any questions, you want me to sit down with you, go through some goal setting, or you're not really too sure where to start, please just give me a message or grab hold of me in the gym. I actually really like all this stuff. Most of you probably do it without even realizing. So just have a think about when you're planning these workouts and where you are going and why. And we'll see if it helps you. Good luck on the challenge. See you soon.